think we can start.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, shall we continue?
एक मिनट रुक जाओ.
I think we can continue with the session.
हाँ.
Okay. Okay, sir. I have seen your message. I'll continue where we have left. Yes. Is my screen, is my PPT visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So we were here. We left in between. So as we were saying that when we talk about regulatory and business compliances, there are many benefits associated with it.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
now when we talk about different types of business organizations, we start with the very small one in a very small scale, that is proprietorship business. Whatever business we start, we can either start with as a proprietorship business, or we can start as a Hindu undivided family, which we know as commonly known as HUF, which is more popular amidst the business families in India. Then we have the option of a partnership business. We will discuss them one by one. There is another option of cooperative society. If we start as a society-based business, we need to register under the Cooperative Societies Act. And then, of course, the largest form, which we know as the company. We can register our business as a company. Now, why I want to discuss them individually, because the compliances or the legal formalities which we need to fulfill, it differs. It slightly differs for the different types. So depending on them, after getting a total informed knowledge about these, you can decide on what type you want to start your business. Okay. So when we talk about proprietorship business, it's the very basic one, which all of us, you and me, we can start from our homes, of course. So it is a sole proprietorship or a single ownership. Who invests the capital? We will invest the capital. We will either take a loan or we will arrange money from different sources. We will invest. We will run the business by ourselves. Who will keep the profit? Of course, we will keep the profit. Who will suffer the losses? We will suffer the losses. Nobody is responsible over here. We are the sole owner of our business. Okay. Then when we talk about HUF, there are different joint family concepts where there is one single, one head of the family or one single person who controls the entire business. He is known as the Karta. Okay, he's the Karta of the family, and all the other members of the family, they are the partners in the HUF, in the business. Then there is the partnership form. When we talk about partnership, it is a step higher or a bit larger than a proprietorship. Under proprietorship, it's just a single owner. Under partnership, it can be 2 or 3 of us, or maybe 4 or 5 of us. We can come together and we can form our business in the form of partnership. Now, what benefits we get under partnership? When 2 or 3 of us get together, the amount of investment which comes in, it increases, isn't it? A single person investing the money is a different story, and 2 or 3 people getting together and investing the money, it becomes a bit more it takes the business to a more advantageous position. Fine. Now, when we form our business as a partnership with 2 or 3 of our friends or our colleagues, then what regulatory norm we need to fulfill? We need to follow the Partnership Act. Okay, the Partnership Act of the year 1932. Now, suppose we say that okay, I do not want to follow the Partnership Act. Fine. Then what we can do? Under the provisions of the Partnership Act, what we can do? We can form or we can frame a partnership deed. You can note it down if you want. The partnership deed is a customized document which are in tune or in terms of the Partnership Act, but we can make certain changes, we can modify to meet our own needs. Okay. Then we can also register our business as a cooperative, okay, a voluntary association of person, and with a little bit of profit motive, but more of service motive. Okay, this is another option. And then we have the option of the company. Now, when we register as a company, our business, when we want to start it as a company, then what we can do? We again have 2 options. We can either start as a private company, or we can also go in as a public company. Fine. Now, when we talk about public company, just giving you a quick example. Suppose I talk about Reliance. Okay, Reliance India Limited, RIL. Okay, so that is a public company. Why I'm saying public company? Because we people, okay, you and me, us as public, we can invest or we can purchase shares of the company. Shares are easily available in the market. Okay, we are investing in the capital. Fine. When I talk about a private company, who is giving in the capital? Who is bringing in the financial resources? The people who have formed the private company. They cannot start selling shares in the open market. Okay, so that's the difference. So compliances for a company are a bit large, they are a bit expensive, and they are a bit complex. Okay, the easiest form is of course the sole proprietorship. Then we can expand to partnership. Okay, and if we plan that okay, I'm going to set up in a big firm in a very large scale, then of course company form of business you can start with. Okay. Now the topic on which we want to discuss in details today, process of setting up an enterprise. Now, since you're writing a business plan, you're working on your business model, you should know what is the process of setting up. You have prepared a detailed plan, isn't it? You have mentioned your mission and vision. You have identified your target customers. You have decided on what product you are going to work. Now, how will you actually start your business? Okay. How will you actually work on setting up your business? What documents you need to avail, okay, for the business, for starting the business. So under this, we will first discuss the sole proprietorship, since our aim is to start in a small scale, and then gradually we will discuss on the larger scales, on partnership, on company in this manner. Okay. So first things first, legal and regulatory measures which we need to fulfill. Fine. So there are different regulatory measures which we need to work upon. Fine. So some of them which I want to discuss today with all of you. There is something known as FSSAI license. Okay. So this is, what does it FSSAI stands for? That is the Food Security Standard Authority of India. That is the food license. Okay. Suppose you want to deal with organic agri products, as I was mentioning earlier. Okay. You want to deal in pickles. You want to deal in jam. Okay. You want to deal in, suppose, mushrooms. Okay. You want to deal in in hot chili. Okay. The red chili, which is the most hottest chili in the world. Suppose you want to go for those type of products. Fine. Or any other food products, food processing unit if you want to set up. Okay. Then the first and the basic document, the license which you will require is the food security license, which is compulsory. You need to avail. Suppose tomorrow you produce a food product, your food item, anything related to food product, it may be dairy product, okay, any food related item, any edible item, okay. And suppose somebody complains about food poisoning, that okay, to yesterday night I ate this product and today I have fallen sick. So if somebody sues you in the court, then what will the court first ask you? Do you have a food security license? Okay, do you have the approval from the food security? If you do not have the license, your business will be considered illegal, okay, and it will be completely shut down. So after investing so much of money, after giving in so much of effort, if your business gets shut down for not fulfilling the legal compliances, then it is not a good thing. Okay, it will give out a wrong message. It will create a wrong impact. Fine. So this food license or the approval from the food authority is very much required. Okay, so this is mandatory if you are going to start a food related business, edible business. Okay. Then for all other types of business, I'm mentioning more specifically for sole proprietorship, because for sole proprietorship, the compliances are very minimal. Okay, it is not very complex. It's very simple. Some very small documents only you require. So out of those minimal documents, trade license is one of the important documents. Okay, so in the later slides, we will discuss what is the manner of obtaining these different documents. We will discuss them also. Okay, so here I am telling you what are your important licenses you require. So after trade license, suppose you start your business in the form of partnership. 2 or 3 of your classmates, you decided that okay, let us start our business in the form of partnership. Suppose you start a poultry farm, okay, or suppose you plan to start a dairy related industry, dairy farm, okay, food processing unit in the dairy sector. So the first thing, if it is a partnership business, what you will need, it's the partnership act or the partnership deed. Okay. After that, suppose, let's take an example that the area where you are going to work, okay, where you are going to operate, suppose that area you have taken on rent, then the rent agreement is compulsory with your landlord. Okay, without the rent agreement, you cannot apply for the trade license. To get your trade license, your rent agreement is compulsory. Okay, so this rent agreement between the tenant and the landlord is a very important document. Now the thing is, this document is required only in case of rent. Suppose you start your business in your own home, in your own house, in the backyard. Okay, or maybe you have taken a small room in your home and you have started producing your small products, whatever you are planning to start your business in. In that case, the rent agreement is not needed. In some cases, an NOC, no objection certificate, okay, NOC is also required from the landlord. Fine. Then Aadhaar and PAN card. In some cases, they also become important. Now, why Aadhaar and PAN card becomes important, I'll tell you. You may say that, ma'am, just to start my business, why do I need my PAN card? Or to start my business, why do I need my Aadhaar? Yes, to start your business, you on the face of it, you do not require. But when you go to apply some other licenses, there you will come to know that PAN and Aadhaar is a very useful document. So if you have your PAN card and your Aadhaar number, then your work becomes smooth. Okay. So these are some of them. Apart from this, we can talk about trademark registration. I'll discuss trademark in the later slides. Income tax return, again, I'll tell you why income tax is important. Okay, for some form of business, fire license is important. Okay, now this depends from business to business. Suppose you want to set up a restaurant, okay, you want to set up a hotel, okay, in these cases, fire licenses, if you're dealing in if you're dealing in fire based products, that in the sense of your cooking, or you are making something where fire is used, for that case fire license becomes important. Okay, then shop and establishment license is again required. Now I'll tell you who are the authorities who are providing these licenses in your state. I'll let you know. Now suppose you are setting up a eatery, okay, and suppose you are you're setting up a shop where you have again provided space where 2 or 4 people can sit and eat. In these cases, the shop license becomes important. Okay. Then there is an option of MSME registration, which we will again discuss, and GST, of course, which is a very new introduction by the government of India. We will be discussing the limits and how and when to file up the returns. Okay. Okay. So talking about food safety, let me make it clear at the very beginning. If you're planning to deal in edible items in food business, okay, even a very petty vendor or a small hawker, even he or she needs to obtain the food license. This is the norm or the regulatory regulation or rule which is set by the government of India. Now you may tell me that, ma'am, there are so many different we know people or different business people who are running their very small business from home, but they are not having their food license. Of course, there are many people. Okay, I know people who are working, who are functioning here without the food license. Okay, but that is actually not. That practice should be banned. Okay, as per government regulations, the license, the food license is very important. Even if you are manufacturing pickle, you are manufacturing jam, even for these small businesses also, the food license is very important. Okay, that is the norm which is set by the government. Fine. This approval is required because some locally made products, you can see here the second point, some locally made products, their shelf life is very short. Okay, and at every point of sale, their shelf life needs to be ascertained. So in these cases, this approval from the food authority is very much important. Okay. Now, the very important question, how and where to register for this license, FSSAI. Okay. So, before going to how to register, let's see one thing. This license for food security is of three types. Okay. First is the basic license, where if your turnover is below 12 lakhs. So for us, if today I want to start a business and I know my limits will be below this, at the very first stage, what we will do, we will apply for the basic license. Okay. Now, if our turnover crosses the limit of 12 lakh and is between 20 crore, I have to opt for the state license. Okay. And if my turnover exceeds 20 crore, I'll be opting for the central license. Now, let me quickly show you this website, fssaindia.in, how you can register. I'll quickly show you this one. So you get an idea, how it works. Okay, so this, I hope this is visible to the participants. This is the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India government website. Yeah, so you can see here, FSSAI registration for all the different items. Okay, you can check all different items. You can register here. You can obtain your license here. Now, this is for bakery products, meat shop, grocery. Okay, these are available here. Yes, you can see this. You can apply here for the license. Okay, this is the option. So this website, if you want, you can just note down the link, fssaindia.in. Okay. So documents and everything is mentioned here. Whatever, it's a very basic documents you will require. Okay. Now here, one thing I would like to mention. Yes, under FSSAI, that since we are talking about food safety and security, I'm sure all of you are aware that nowadays we can register our business online, okay, in different online platforms like Swiggy or Zomato, this type of platforms, okay. Now, if those services are available in your area, okay, if those services are available in your area, then what you can do, you can register. So even for registering in online platforms, okay, for nationwide online platforms, if you want to register, and also for the concept of cloud kitchen, there is the concept of cloud kitchen where you just have your own kitchen at home, you prepare your food, you click some photographs and you put it up in an online platform, okay. That's a cloud kitchen concept. Even if you want to start your food business in that manner, even for that, this food license is important, okay. So this you can keep in mind, fine. Food license and trade license. Yeah, I can hear some voices, so I don't know. Are you putting up any question, or is that some extra noise? I'm not aware of it now. Is there any question, or I think participants, you can turn off your mic. I don't know. I was hearing some noise. Was there any question put up? Okay, I think that was some kind of extra noise coming in. Kindly turn off your microphones, your mic. Okay. Now, the next one, when we are talking about the trade license. Now, who issues the trade license? It is the municipal corporation. In your area, it will be the Dimapur Municipal Corporation. Okay. So any proprietorship business, it requires a trade license to run their business. Okay. Why this trade license is important? So that it conveys the message that having the trade license, it means that our business is not illegal. Okay. We are continuing our business in a very legal manner. We are not doing anything illegal. Okay. This is the requirement of a trade license. Okay. And the government, they have allowed, they have permitted us to do our business. Fine. So what are the documents required for a trade license? It's the normal documents which we talk about are ID proof, our address proof, okay, our PAN card, passport, driving license, electricity bill. You remember I was talking about Aadhaar? I was talking about Aadhaar because of these reasons. Okay, if you have your Aadhaar, your ID proof and all these things, it becomes easier. Okay, even in the absence of Aadhaar, you can use these documents, your driving license, your passport, your bank passbook. Okay, photograph is required. If it is a partnership business, joint photographs are required. Fine. If you start your business as a company or as a firm or society, then the registration certificate, which we will discuss, of course, later on, and property taxes. If you're eligible to pay property taxes, you need to pay them up to date. Okay, you need to keep them up to date. Now, how to obtain our trade licenses? Okay, so here the online and offline services are available. So you have dmc.nagaland.gov.in. This website is there for your trade license. You can check here. You can download the form online and with all the other documents. Which documents? These one, your ID proof, your address proof. Okay. With these documents, you can submit your form. Fine. Or else what you can do, you directly go to the office, take the form from them, fill it up and submit. So here in our state, it takes approx around 15 to 20 days to obtain the trade license. It may depend, it may vary from state to state. And as in the beginning, ma'am told us that there are students from different parts of the country. So students who are not from Nagaland, your trade licenses, where will you be applying? In your local municipal offices. Okay, and it varies. And also the fees varies from state to state. Okay, here if I talk about our state in Assam, here it is somewhere around, it depends again from business to business. In some businesses they charge 5,000, in some businesses they charge 8,600 approximately. So it varies from business to business. If it's a liquor business, your charges will be different. Okay, so depending on the states where you are starting your business, the fees, the amount varies. Fine. Now, talking about the rent agreement and the partnership deed. Here, now, as I already said earlier, between whom the rent agreement will be created, between the landlord, if the premises we are working on is on rent, between the landlord and us as tenant. Okay, so this rent agreement normally it is prepared for a period of 11 months. So after every 11 months, this rent agreement is renewed. Okay, and if you have to use a rent agreement for trade license purpose, you need to get it notarized. Okay, and NOC from landlord is required in the above cases. Now the landlord has to mention that I have no objection for so and so Mr. XYZ for using my property for his business. Okay, this and where can he write it? It can be in a small affidavit where he's signing it, or even in the electricity bill. He needs to just mention that I have no objection if this person is using my property. This is the document I have given him to continue his business. Okay, that is the thing of the NOC. Now, if you do not have a partnership deed, then how will you operate? You will be working on the basis of the Partnership Act. Okay, so and if you have a partnership deed, then the partnership deed will play its role. Okay, now what does the Partnership Act says normally? The Partnership Act is saying that profit between partners will be divided equally, 50-50. Okay, that is the provision under the Partnership Act. Now, suppose there are two partners, you and your friend, who starts your business. Okay, and one of you is investing a higher amount of capital. Okay, suppose one of you is investing, say, around 50,000 rupees, and the other partner is investing 20,000. Okay, you start your business with 70,000, and 50,000 you pay as the initial capital, and 20,000 your friend, your partner is paying. Okay, now will you divide the profit in the ratio of 50:50? Of course, no, isn't it? You will, what will you say? That I am giving a huge amount of capital, a huge amount of investment, I will take a bigger share of profit, isn't it? So in that case, the 50-50 ratio of profit sharing under the Partnership Act will not come into action. Okay, here what will happen? Here you will create your partnership deed. There you will write, we will share the ratio maybe in the 60-40 ratio, or maybe in 70-30 ratio, isn't it? So since I am investing a higher capital, I will take a higher profit. This may be one of your condition. So in that case, the partnership deed is required. Okay, if you want to customize your business, the deed comes to play a very important role, or a very pivotal role. Now, after this, what we require is our Aadhaar. Okay, now Aadhaar is not mandatory, but if you want, you can apply for your Aadhaar. How and where will you apply your Aadhaar? What will you do? First, you will find out your nearest Aadhaar enrollment center. Okay, so if you can see this URL, this website link, which I have mentioned here, if you want, you can note it down: uidai.gov.in. Okay, by going here, this is the official website of Aadhaar. Here you can find out your enrollment center. You can get your form, fill up your form, and you can submit. It's very easy. Okay, you do not need to go to the bank, and which happened here. You had to go to the bank and make a huge line. You have to wait for the whole day and then apply. Now, when this online facility is available, things are becoming easier. Okay, you fill up the form and you submit. Okay, or you download the form, you fill it up and go and submit in your enrollment center, in the nearest center. Okay, and what details the form requires? It's very simple, something very easy: your home address, okay, your name, your ID proof, your address proof. This type of very basic, simple informations the form asks for. Okay, now if you look here, after submitting the form with all your proof of identity and proof of address, with all the documents, and your biometric will be taken, your retina scan, your fingerprints, these things will be taken, your photograph is taken, and after giving all these details, you will be given a enrollment number. Okay. Now, with your enrollment number, you can download very easily your e-Aadhaar. Okay. The hard copy of the Aadhaar card, it takes time. Sometimes even maybe 2 to 3 months. Okay. So during this period, once you submit all your form and documents with your 14-digit enrollment number, you can easily download your electronic Aadhaar, your e-Aadhaar. And that is very much legit, is very much valid to use in any other purpose you require. Okay. Sorry. Now, talking about PAN card, I'm sure most of you must be having a PAN cards. All of you must be having a PAN card. So, to apply your PAN card, again, there is the online and the offline method. Now, under the online method, what you need to do is, okay. So, under the online method, you visit the online website, that is the NSDL, onlineservices.nsdl.com. Now, NSDL is the depository body, okay, of the government of India, and they are entrusted with the option of providing your PAN cards. Fine. So after visiting this link, you will find a step-by-step guide. You need to identify your category as an individual. Okay, you need to give a valid email ID and your phone number where your OTP will be given. Okay, you prepare all your documents and you need to make a demand draft of around rupees 98. Okay, if I'm not wrong, 98 or 99 rupees is charged. You need to make a demand draft. Okay, take a print of the form and post it along with all the documents and the demand draft. You need to post it to this address in Pune. Okay, Income Tax Services Unit in Pune. This is your online method. Fine. Now, if we talk about your offline method, the same process takes in here, but here you need to completely fill up the form and then post it in the same address. Okay. In the online method, you filled up the form online, submitted, you get an acknowledgement form that you have to post. Here, in the offline method, if you are applying, you need to download the form itself, fill it up, and then post it. Okay. It takes around another 15 or maybe 1 month time for the hard copy of the PAN card to reach your home. Okay. It's posted to your home address. Fine. Now, talking about income tax return. Now, this is something which we need to discuss a little, because we all know that income tax for the tribal population is excluded. Okay, so tribal population income tax they do not need to fill up. Okay, but people in Nagaland who have to fill up, who have to file the income tax return, for them this is again something important. Okay, and even in other states, okay, income tax return becomes important. Now, when we talk about business, now income tax form comes in different form numbers, from income tax form number 1 to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. When we talk about business, more prominently or more importantly, we talk about ITR 4 and ITR 5. Okay. These are two important forms. And out of these two, the most important form is ITR 4, income tax return form 4. Okay. Now, even if you want to take a loan from the bank or anything, they will ask you for past 2 or 3 years income tax return. Okay. So this is again an important provision which we need to fulfill. Fine. Now, when we are talking about business for the people who are not exempted from income tax. Okay. This is important for those candidates who are not exempted from income tax. So when you start a business, okay, there is under the Income Tax Act, there is something known as Section 44. Okay, Section 44 AD. Under this, what happens? Suppose I say that I am a proprietorship business and I am not maintaining any books of accounts. Okay, I'm just conducting my business in a lump sum manner. And at the time of filling up my income tax return, I have assumed or I have presumed that so let's say my sales or my turnover is something around 50,000. Okay. I have mentioned the figure in ITR 4 as 50,000. that this is my income, my turnover. Okay. Now, what is the income tax department saying? The department is saying that out of this rupees 50,000, you also have to consider your expenses. Okay. So you may have to acquire your raw material, you have to pay your wages, your salary to the staff, suppose you have any. Okay. So out of this 50,000, what is the tax department saying? That we will take 8%, okay, 8% of that amount, and that will be considered as your income. Okay, presumptive taxation, which we talk about. Okay, so suppose you mention 50,000, the tax department will automatically calculate 8% and mention as your income amount. Okay, the tax amount will be calculated on that 8%. Clear? So this one, I want to quickly show you how this income tax return things work. Let me quickly take you to the department website. Just give me 2 minutes. If you see here, if I type income tax India e-filing, okay, now .gov.in, this is the government website. If you can see my screen, the first one which comes in, income tax India e-filing.gov.in. This is the government homepage. Okay, for those of you who are not exempted, you need to have your income tax return. Okay, so this is a small advertise which keeps popping up. Now, at the very first thing, what you have to do here is you need to register yourself. When I say, if you are a new user, when I say you have to register yourself, what you have to do is you need to register your PAN card. Okay, so if I click this option, register yourself, okay, this will direct you to a page. Just wait for a couple of minutes, it will come up. Yes, this is the page. Now, if you see here, I select, if you see the different options coming up, individual, HUF, okay, external agency, chartered accountants. So what will we select? If we are doing it individually, I will of course select individual. Okay, I will register my PAN card. I'll continue. Okay, and you need to enter your PAN card, your surname, your first name, your middle name, your date of birth. Now keep in mind, this is very important. While filling up this portion, you have to be very, very careful. Any mistake you make here, your income tax return, your name and age and date of birth in your income tax form, in your ITRV will be coming, it will be printed in a mistaken manner. Okay, so be very careful when you fill up at least this page. Okay, and then you continue. You need to click it as a resident because we are resident of India, and then you continue. And after doing this, your PAN card gets registered. Okay. Then in the next process, you have to give your email ID, your phone number, and these things. And then you will be getting an OTP, and you will be getting a mail, and you need to just follow the next steps, which are coming as link. Okay. After following the steps, you will be easily getting it registered. Okay. So this is the first step you need to fulfill. And after this, you need to file your income tax return. Okay. For all those who are eligible. Okay. So this process, if you can see here. Now, next, talking about trademark and registration. Now, when I say trademark, this is not practiced by our people in a very large scale, but this is something important. Okay. Yes. Now, when I say trademark registration is important, what happens is that there is something known as intellectual property right. Let's take an example. Suppose you want to go for mushroom cultivation, okay? Or suppose you want to start a bakery and confectionery business, okay, in a very small scale. Now, if you have a trademark in your own name, what will be the benefit? The benefit will be that you will be having a identity, a brand or a logo in your own name. You will be the owner of that particular brand. Okay. Suppose XYZ bakery. Okay. So whenever the people will see that brand name or that specific logo on the top of your product, They will easily identify, okay, this is this brand, it's a very good product, let's buy. Okay, that helps you in creating a brand value, that helps you in creating a goodwill in the market. Okay, and if you register your trademark or your logo, now when I say trademark, let me give a very small example. When I say Cadbury, okay, you all have that image in your mind. I'm sure when I say Cadbury, that C is written in a big manner, and then Cadbury in a very beautiful way, in a very slanting italic format, and then at the end, at the top, you see they have written R, and this circle R. That is, that trademark of Cadbury is registered. If I say Nestle, if I say Coca-Cola, okay, these are big companies who have registered. Even as a very small company, you can register your trademark. That will give you an added advantage and edge over other businesses, over your counterparts. Okay. Now, when you register your trademark, what is the benefit? The benefit is that nobody can steal your logo, nobody can steal your product. And if somebody, okay, suppose as I have given the example that I have started a bakery business at my home, I have registered my trademark and I'm selling my products. Okay. Tomorrow, somebody else, say my neighbor, he starts baking. Okay, he starts bakery items, and what he does, he puts my logo in his product or upon his product. Then what I can do, I can sue him. Okay, then I can say that this he has stolen my logo, my trademark, and that is not my product, but he's using my trademark. Since my trademark, my logo is my property, I will not allow others to use it. So that gives you a very high brand value. Okay, so this is not very much widely practiced in our northeastern states, but I would recommend that you can register your trademark or your logo. Okay. Then talking about fire license or a NOC, who issues the fire license? The Director, Fire and Emergency Services. So in Nagaland, if I talk about your state Nagaland, so the Director, Fire and Emergency Services Nagaland will be providing you the license. Okay, that is an offline method. Fine. You have to get a form, fill up the form along with the below mentioned documents. So what are the documents? You will require your site plan, your layout, okay, your other agreements, if any. Now, when is the fire license required? When, as I said earlier, when you are dealing with fire items, you're using gas, you're using, other large fire-based products to prepare your items. Okay, in those cases, fire safety license is required. Now, then there is the shop and establishment license. Now, when will you require a shop license? If you plan to set up a shop, okay. Suppose you plan to set up a showroom or a restaurant, okay. And suppose you also have a kitchen in the first floor, and in the ground floor, you have a eatery, okay. You have a shop. In those cases, the shop and establishment license is required. So for Nagaland, the Nagaland Shop and Establishment Act is present in your state in the year 1986. It came. And the labor department of your state is issuing this license. Okay, and to get a shop and establishment license, your trade license is one of the most important documents if you want to obtain a shop license. Fine. Now we are moving to a different portion. I'll quickly check the chat box if you have any query till now. I'm quickly checking the chat box if there is any questions or queries. Okay. My question and answer panel is showing vacant, so I think there are no queries over here. Okay, so my chat box is like no queries over here. Okay, let's proceed then. Let's proceed. Okay. So there is another option which we can opt for. We can register our business as a MSME. Okay, that is micro, small, or medium enterprise. Now, what are the benefits of registering as an MSME? The benefit is that we are, it is very easy to register. Okay, it is a very simple manner in a paperless format. No documents required. You only need your Aadhaar card. Okay, just with your Aadhaar, you can register with MSME, and various other government benefits are given to you. Okay, so to register as MSME, what we have to do, we need to visit this portal, msme.gov.in. Okay, and if you look here on registration and enterprise, which is known as Udyam, now the government has given a new term. Okay, earlier it was known as Udyog Aadhaar. Okay, now the government has modified and they now call it or refer it as Udyam. Okay, so upon registration, in a very simple way, you will be given a registration number, okay, and a registration certificate. Now, this is something which we need to know. If you want, you can note this down also. This is also very recent update given by the government of India under the Atmanirbhar scheme. I'm sure all of you are aware of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which recently our Prime Minister has announced. So after coming up with this concept, what has MSME done? They have increased the limits of MSME sector. So now if I say I want to establish as a micro enterprise, is a very small micro enterprise. What is my turnover limit? My turnover limit is up to 5 crore. Investment is up to 1 crore. So this is a very high amount, a very huge amount. Okay. So if I want to start a very small business, okay, I want to avail different equipments for it. Okay, let's take an example. That suppose I want to go for dairy food processing. Okay, or maybe I want to operate in a very large scale. Okay, I will be requiring huge amount of equipments, huge amount of utensils, huge amount of labor force. Okay, so for all these things, my investment will be high. But let's say that it is still below 1 crore. Okay, then I can register my enterprise as a micro enterprise, MSME, under MSME. Okay, then there are different revised limits. These are the different revised limits. And how will we register? As we will be visiting the msme.gov.in portal, the Udyam portal. We will register, we will get a Udyam registration number, and upon registration, we will be getting a certificate. Okay. So things to remember here, it is free of cost. No fees is required. If somebody tells you that give me 5,000 rupees, I will register in MSME for you, do not fall in such traps. Okay. This is totally free of cost. Only Aadhaar number is required. Okay. So if an already existing business wants to register, they have to re-register because the limits have been revised. And for new business, you have to register as a new business. Okay. Now, let me quickly show you the MSME portal. Why I'm doing this? So that you get a direct experience, you know, how the portal or where to register. So this will help you in doing your work without the help of other people. You can easily register in these different portals which we are discussing. Okay, you can easily apply for your PAN, you can easily apply for your Aadhaar. Okay, when you know the different websites. So you know, when you take help of professionals, they charge you a fees. Okay, so if you know the process by yourself, you save some amount of money, isn't it? And as startups, as new entrepreneurs, we all need to save money, isn't it? So once you know how it works, you can do many things on your own. Okay. So if you see this one, this is the MSME website. Here, if you go to the end of the website, you see here Udyam registration. This option, if you can see my screen, Udyam registration, you click here, and
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
it is not visible. Okay, so 1 minute. Yes, sir. Is it visible now? Is the screen visible now? Yeah.
Still
Yes.
not visible.
Yeah.
I think the
Now.
old PPT only.
Yeah.
Whatever you were showing earlier, your own
Is it
old
visible
PPT
now,
only.
sir?
Only your old PPT is visible, not your
Okay.
website.
Yeah. Can you see it now? I think it is visible now.
Not visible.
Not visible. I think there is some problem then. I'll just try one more time. Last. So can you see it now?
It was coming little bit, but now again
Can
closed.
you see the MSME website? Is it visible?
It was coming little bit, but now again closed.
Okay. Fine. Okay, then I think there is some problem maybe. If our participants, if they visit msme.gov.in, there they will easily see that the option to register is available. Okay, you can, and it is very simple. You just need to give your name, your Aadhaar is required. So the phone number which you give for Aadhaar, that phone number only will get the OTP. Okay, so following that OTP, your enterprise will get registered. You need to mention the name of your enterprise, your name, and the Aadhaar number, and that will help you to register for MSME. Okay, it's a very simple process. It's just a one-page document. Okay. Now moving forward, I think my screen is visible now. My PPT is visible now. Okay.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So moving forward, there is something known as GEM portal. Okay. Now this is GEM. It stands for Government E-Marketplace. Okay. Once we start our business, even as a sole proprietor or as a small vendor, we can register at GEM. Okay. So what benefit happens here? So all the order placement or payment process, this is easily available even to conduct business with the government. So it's an open platform. Anybody can go and register themselves. Okay, all bona fide parties, fine. They can register. Whoever wants to do business with the government, fine. Now suppose, let us take an example. Now, let us say that suppose we have a poultry farm, okay, or we are working in pickle, okay, in the pickle we are manufacturing pickle industry, and we want to give supply in some government organization or in a government function, okay. So to do that work, how will we get the link? How will we register ourselves with the government? What we will do? We will have to register ourselves at GEM portal, okay, and then all the businesses we want to do with the government, all the payments and everything, this will be happening under this portal. Okay, somebody has messaged my voice is not audible. So is it audible now?
Your voice is audible. Your
Audible?
voice is audible. Maybe I think he is having some network issue.
Okay, sir. Because my mic is turned on, somebody messaged in the chat box. Okay. So to register at GEM, you can easily go to GEM portal, okay, or www.india.gov.in government e-marketplace. I do not want to go to the portal because maybe I don't know there is some problem and you may not be able to see it again. So I do not want to waste much time since my time is limited to 7 p.m. So I just want to quickly discuss the other things also. So this is very simple. You just go to GEM portal and you will find the website. Okay, the registration processes are very simple. Okay, then there is something known as GST. Yeah, so we all are aware of GST. What is GST? A very latest or new introduction by the government of India, and even the state of Nagaland has accepted to work in GST. Okay, so now the thing is when GST comes in, okay, so the turnover limit is up to 20 lakh. But for the state of Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura, the amount is given at 10 lakh. Okay, so if your turnover is exceeding 10 lakh, you need to go for GST registration. Okay, and if your turnover is below that limit, then what you can do? You can go for voluntary registration. Okay, you just voluntarily register yourself. There is no compulsion, and you file a nil return. The option is there, NIL, nil return. Okay, that option you can do. So I'll tell you how and where to obtain the GST number. So just quickly telling you something. When GST registration becomes compulsory, even for MSME, okay, even if you register as MSME or as a very small business, GST becomes compulsory if there is interstate transaction. Okay, you are producing something, you are manufacturing something, and you want to sell in different states across India, or maybe let's say that from Nagaland you want to sell to Assam, from here you want to sell to Meghalaya, or from Assam I want to sell in Delhi or maybe Mizoram, then interstate sales or supply, in those cases it becomes important. Okay, now one thing I want to discuss here very quickly, the GST return filing, there are different forms, okay, for filing the GST return. So I have given a star mark over here. If you see, I have mentioned the star because from October 2020, the government is planning to make GST return more easy so that we can file our GST return by ourselves only. Okay, so new forms are about to be introduced. Okay, so we are not aware, we are not sure that maybe for the ongoing situation, maybe for the pandemic situation, they may postpone or they may extend, okay, this process. But some new developments are on the way. Okay, they are in the pipeline. The government is working on it. So whenever you get any new notice, any new news, okay, or any notification for something related to GST, please check the news. Okay, government may introduce some different changes. Okay, so just to show you something here, how you can apply or how you can get your GST number if you fall under the compulsory criteria, then what you can do for Nagaland, this website is available. You can note it down if you want, nagalandtax.nic.in. Okay, so this is for Nagaland. Okay, and otherwise there's also the GST portal, which you can also go to the GST portal. You can, it's a very easy process. Go to the portal gst.gov.in. Just put your PAN number or Aadhaar number, your name, and register yourself. Okay, very simple process, just like PAN or Aadhaar card, to get the registration number. Okay, or what you can do, just like Aadhaar, we found our center, Seva Kendra, which we call facilitation center. Just like that, we have GST Seva Kendra, who is providing the services, who will register for you, who will file the return for you. Okay, you can either go to those Kendra, those center, and you can register yourself and file your return. So to get your GST number, what you require, jurisdiction details, where you stay, which is the area of operation, okay, bank account, okay, IFSC number, PAN. If it is a HUF, you need the Karta detail. As I said, the head person. Those details are some very basic details, your phone number, your valid phone number, your mail address, this type of things are required. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention here, that when you're planning to start a business or when you're planning to become an entrepreneur, you know, you need to be a little bit of professional. Okay, so if you're having a mail ID, it happens, I've seen many people who are having a mail ID and they forget the password. Okay, in some very emergency work, in some very important work, I have my mail ID. Okay, sorry, I forgot my password, I don't have a mail ID now. I have a phone number, but there is no incoming. Okay, my phone number has no recharge. Since you all are budding entrepreneurs, I would just like to suggest, the moment you plan to be an entrepreneur, get a bit professional. Okay, have a valid email ID, have a valid phone number. Okay, if possible, maintain an email ID and a phone number for your business itself. Make your personal use separate, make your business use separate. Why I'm saying this, because as you have seen, for your Aadhaar, for your PAN number, okay, for your MSME registration, for your GST registration, for your income tax, for all these details, you require valid phone number and valid email ID. Okay, so make it possible that you have this phone number where always the incoming is there. Okay, you immediately get an OTP whenever you are working in these areas. Okay, make sure that these two things for your business are professionally maintained. Okay, don't mix them up with your personal use. That is for your benefit. If you can handle in both the ways, that okay, I have one email ID, I can handle personal use and also business use, then it is fine. It's up to you. But to avoid confusions, maintaining a separate email ID and a phone number, I would recommend that is something professional. Okay. And even when you have clients, you are going for a business meeting, you are giving your business card, okay, your visiting card or your business card to your client, mention that email ID and phone number. Maintain that number, and it will be easy for your clients to also reach you, isn't it? So maintain these things separately. One more thing, if you have noticed here, all your legal documents are interlinked. Your Aadhaar is linked to your PAN card. Your income tax return is linked to your PAN card. All these things are interlinked. Your bank phone number is linked to your Aadhaar, PAN card, and income tax. Okay. So since they are all linked, these legal documents are linked, it's safe. You maintain a separate phone number and an email ID. Okay. Which is something, a personal suggestion. Okay. So moving forward, there is another initiative known as Stand Up India. Okay. So this Stand Up India initiative is specially started or specially maintained by the government of India, specifically for the SC and ST population. Okay. For the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes population. Okay. So what happens in Stand Up India? So what is the government saying? That it facilitates bank loan between the amount of 10 lakh to 1 crore to at least one SC or ST borrower from one bank branch. Okay. So to make it easy, let me tell you, suppose in Dimapur, okay, suppose in Dimapur, there is SBI, there is maybe UCO Bank, Union Bank of India, just giving you an example. Maybe there is Canara Bank, Punjab National Bank. Okay, these different bank branches are there. Okay, so each bank branch, they have to give a loan to at least one SC or ST borrower. Okay, so this the government is saying that the bank branch has to give a loan. Okay, now what will be the amount of the loan? Somewhere between 10 lakh to 1 crore. Okay, so on our very first day, if you have attended the very first day, our sir, Mr. Somen Das sir, he has mentioned that in the initial stages, how will you accumulate the funds? There is some, he talked about seed capital, isn't it? He talked about gathering funds from your friends and family, and he also mentioned about fools, isn't it? If you remember his deliberation, his discussion. So he talked about different sources, isn't it? So these are some of the sources where you can avail loan from. Okay. So he must have mentioned that some of you have said that how will you get loan from the bank? Okay. So getting the loan from bank is not very easy, isn't it? So there are other schemes. These are different schemes by government who are giving you loan. You start your business initially, and then when you expand, when you want to enlarge your business, these are different schemes which the government is helping you with. Okay. And here the government is talking about greenfield project. Now, what is greenfield project? Greenfield project is something which you start from the scratch. Okay. No prior work is happening. Okay. It is a new business, a new venture which you are starting. Okay. So if you are continuing a prior business, something which has already existed, you want to just continue with that business, that is something known as brownfield. Okay. So here under Stand Up India, the government is talking about greenfield project. And I have mentioned the link over here, that is Stand Up Mitra, MITRA, standupmitra.in. If you visit here, you can very easily register yourself. Okay. And then there is something known as SC/ST Hub. Okay. So this is again another help or a beneficial scheme started by the government of India. Now, what are the benefits of SC/ST Hub of registering yourself under SC/ST Hub? What happens here is that you get different government tenders. Okay, issue of tender sets free of cost. Okay, so this is the benefit you get. Then exemption from payment of EMD. Then central ministry departments, PSUs, they give you very different amounts of relaxations. Okay, these are the benefits if you register yourself under the SC/ST Hub. As a very basic, as a very startup, as a very budding entrepreneur, these are the different benefits you can avail. Okay, government benefits. Now to register for SC/ST Hub, again, you can visit scshub.in. Okay, if you visit here, you'll get all the details, whichever is mentioned by the government of India. Okay. I planned to actually take you to the different government portals as I have done earlier. But since a problem has popped up, I am not now going to the portal. You can just note down the different websites. If you want later on also, I can provide you the different links. I can give you, we can like if sir is there, he can coordinate to give you the different links, and then you can check. Okay. I don't want to take you now to the portal since there was a problem. Okay, now these are all the things which we have discussed about proprietorship. When we start a very small business as a proprietor, varying from business to business, these small requirements are there. Now, if we want to enlarge our business and start it as a partnership or LLP or a company, okay, then quickly I want to tell you what are the different compliances we need to meet. Okay, so partnership we have already discussed. There is the partnership act or the partnership deal. Okay, then you need to register your firm. Okay, then income tax return we have already discussed. PAN and 10. I'll discuss to you at the end of this. I'll discuss 10. PAN we have discussed. GST we have discussed, provided the limit is there. Okay, now there is something known as LLP, limited liability partnership. Now this is a new concept. Okay, let me quickly tell you in a couple of minutes what is LLP. Now, suppose let's take an example again. Suppose me and my friend, we have started a business as a LLP. Okay. So under LLP, we are partners. We are two partners. Okay. I deal in dairy products and my friend deals in other products, non-dairy products, like maybe mushrooms, pickles, okay, or say bamboo shoot, okay, other edible products, eggs maybe, okay, other poultry products, maybe pig farming, pig rearing, okay. My friend is dealing in that area, and I am taking care of the dairy product, okay. And we have set up our business as a LLP enterprise. Now, what happens in LLP? I am responsible only for my area of work. Since I'm maintaining the dairy products, I am responsible for all the activities taking place under dairy. Okay, my friend is responsible for all the activities taking place in the non-dairy segment. Fine. Again, suppose tomorrow some complaint comes up that dairy products are old, or they are contaminated. Fine. Then for that problem, for that risk, my friend is not liable if our business is under LLP. Okay. What is the disadvantage of partnership? If me and my friend, we are starting our business as a partnership, then both the partners are equally responsible for any mishappenings. Okay. That disadvantage is removed under LLP. I am responsible for my area of work. My friend is responsible for his or her area of work. Suppose I take care of the audit and my friend takes care of the sales and marketing portion. Okay. So if I commit any fraud or any blunder under the audit section, then my friend is not responsible for it. Who will be responsible? I am responsible. I will be answerable in the court of law. Okay. If any wrong happens under the audit. So these type of benefits are mentioned under the LLP Act. And the partners, just like partnership deal, LLP agreement is created between the partners if the business is in the form of LLP. Okay. So other things, income tax return, GST, filing of annual return, all these things remains same. Right? Now, if I want to start my business as a company, so we have already discussed that we are starting as a sole proprietorship. So we are now expanding, and now we are planning to set up a company. So what happens if I talk about company? There are again two types, as I've already told you: private limited company and public company. Okay. So if I start my business as a company, then the three very important documents which I require, three most important documents. First, the article of association. Okay, it mentions the different way the internal happenings of the company is taking place. The name, the address, and all those things. How the business is actually operating. All this is prepared by the company itself. Okay, the member of the company, they prepare. Then we have the memorandum, which helps other people to identify what how and in which manner the company is operating. That becomes your memorandum. This is also prepared by the company people only. Okay, the directors and the board of directors, they prepare this document. After preparing both these documents, we have to take permission from the MCA. You can note it down if you want. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, mca.gov.in. Okay, and they will provide me certificate of incorporation, which we know as COI. Only after getting my COI, I can start my business in a very formal manner. Okay, only after COI is granted, I can start my company business. Okay, and of course, GST registration is there. Now, if I talk about partnership annual compliances, that is the yearly compliance, what we need to fulfill, of course, income tax, TDS, I'll tell you what is TDS, we will discuss, and GST, which we have already discussed. For LLP, the yearly compliance, the annual return filing, the balance sheets, the profit and loss account, all these things. Okay, you have to maintain your proper books of accounts, the ledger, your cash books, all these things needs to be maintained. Now, if it is a private limited company, we need to fill up certain form. Where will we fill up these forms? Form MBP1 for the board meetings, different annual returns. Okay, where we need to fill up the forms? Under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, mca.gov.in. Okay. Again, if it is a public company, okay, public unlisted company, if it is not listed in the share market or in the stock exchange, then different forms, your cash flow, your compliance certificate from a reputed company secretary, from a practicing company secretary, your board meetings, of your financial reports, all these needs to be filed in different forms, again under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. Okay. Now, as I have talked about TDS, now what is TDS and what is TEN? This is the last topic we will be discussing. Now, TDS or TEN is, in some cases, it is required also for sole proprietorship and even for partnership business also. Okay. Now, when I say TDS, I have got a message from sir. Sorry, please check your network. Yeah, yes, sir. I think there might be some network issues, but I think it is audible and visible now. So I'm just in the last portion of my deliberation. So talking about 10, what is 10 here? When I say TDS, tax deducted at source. Okay. Now, what is tax deducted at source? Suppose today, uh, I have given a lease. I have given my property in rent or in lease to someone. Okay, and that person is paying me rent. So while paying rent as a landowner, I will be liable to receiving some income in the form of rent. Okay, so that rent, for that amount of rent, I am liable. I am eligible to pay taxes. Okay, what can the person do? The person who is paying the rent, what he can do? He can deduct the tax amount, okay, and then pay the rent to me. Fine. Let us take another example. Suppose you have purchased some raw material, okay, from someone, okay, and or suppose you have taken help for sales and marketing from a organization, okay. So for the help you have taken, they are charging a fees, okay. Suppose the fees is 10,000 rupees. So while paying the 10,000 rupees, what you do, you deduct the 10, you deduct the TDS. Okay. So the opposite party, what he has to do, that since he has already, his TDS or his tax amount has been deducted, while filing his income tax return, if it's not taxable, he can claim back. He can ask for a refund, isn't it? Suppose something similar happens to you. You give a service to a person, okay. You have given any service, let us take XYZ, any service you have given to a person, and that person, while paying you, he has deducted the tax amount at the point of paying, at the point of source, TDS, tax deducted at source. So while he has deducted the TDS amount and he has given you the amount, you are a non-taxable person, okay. Suppose you have to get 50,000 and that person is deducting 10% of TDS and he pays you a less amount. So since the TDS amount has already been deducted, now while filing your income tax return, you can claim for a refund. Okay. Now, while claiming the refund, if you are non-taxable, that amount will be given back to you by the income tax department. So, how can that happen? That can happen if the deductor is having a 10 number. So, tomorrow, if you start your business and you have to make such payments, you can register yourself in the 10 facility. You can get a 10 number, you can deduct the tax. Someone that is considered as a good practice. Okay, you're deducting the amount and then you're paying the other person whom you need to pay. Okay, so how will I obtain my 10 number? Through two modes, again online and offline mode. Now under the online mode, it is again the 10 NSDL website. Okay, 1 second, this is taking some time to change this slide. Yeah, this is the online mode. For the online mode of obtaining your 10 number, what you can do, you can visit this website if you note down, tin.nsdl.com. Okay, so under this website, you go to this option, services. You will see on the left hand side. I'll not open the portal because again there might be some problem. You will not be able to be visible. It may not be visible. So after going to this website, you go to services. Then next you go to 10 and apply online. Okay, immediately you will be registered and your 10 number will be delivered to you. If you plan to get your 10 number in the offline mode, then you need to download form 49B. Okay, from the same website, tin.nsdl website. Download your form and then you fill up the form and submit it to any of the tin facilitation center. Okay, just like your Aadhaar center, Seva Kendra, just like your your GST Seva Kendra, there is tin facilitation center in your nearby area. Fill up the form and submit it to them. Now, this is the case when you are the deductor. Okay, and if you are deducting TDS for other people, then you need to file TDS return quarterly. Every quarter, you need to file your TDS return. And that takes place in the income tax website itself, which I have shown you earlier. There only the TDS return takes place. Okay. Suppose your money is deducted by someone else, then what you have to do, you file an income tax return. If you are eligible for a refund, you can easily claim your refund. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of our today's session. So any query, any doubts, anything you want to ask?
Dear students, yeah, if you have any doubt or more clarification, or maybe you want some additional information on any particular issue, then you feel free to ask.
So as I have been attending the other sessions also which are going on, I just have a rough idea that our participants, they are working in a very small scale as of now, and they are working in small areas, in small sectors. Of course, they can expand later on. They can expand their entrepreneurship projects later on. So as of now, the very minimal compliances they need to fulfill if they want to set up a business. Later on, in later stages, when they are planning to expand, they can go ahead and fulfill the other requirements.
Yeah, thank you, madam. You have rightly said that they will be starting only at a small scale. This is a part of their experiential learning. So
Yes, sir.
whatever theoretical knowledge they have learned, especially during these last 3 years, with the exposure of this business planning course, they'll be applying all those things in developing business plan
Yes, sir.
and profit generation and all. But I'm very thankful you that you have given a very detailed outlay of setting an enterprise. So even that may not be equally feasible right now for them,
Yes,
but
sir.
when they pass out next year, so
Hmm.
I think that many of my students might be motivated to start their own enterprise. The way you have explained those things very clearly, the way from starting a new enterprise, then getting a license, getting different forms of legality and all. So these things you have made it very clear to our students. I hope that I wanted some feedback from their side also. I don't know whether they will be sharing or not.
Yes, sir.
But what
Yeah,
I have observed, you have given a very nice deliberation, touching all the points required, which may be necessary for them to start a new enterprise as a startup or a stand-up, or maybe as a purely, say, entrepreneur.
yeah.
So
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you so much.
Yeah.
If
So any
anybody has any
feedback or
question,
anything do you want to share? It's most welcome.
so if any student wants to share anything or ask anything, it's well and good. Otherwise, now we conclude this program. And then thank you so much once again. We'll have another session as per the schedule shared in your SRP main group.
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much, and thank you
Thank you, sir.
everyone
Thank you.
for
Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
welcome.
So okay, good night.
Good night.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Sir.
welcome.
Good night.
Good night.